tells you is that just because the news fucking said something doesn't make it true. And that they omit things from what they show you to skew your opinion so that they can manipulate that opinion. This is essentially what spin does. So this is why when Obrego Garcia was going through all of this bullshit, the right dubbed it the Maryland Man hoax. Shut up. Nobody wants to know it. Nobody wants to read your shit. That's what they dubbed it because the news kept calling him a Maryland man, a Maryland man, a Maryland man. No, he's an El Salvadorian man who immigrated here illegally. That is what he is. Or Maryland father, or sheet metal worker from Maryland, or a bunch of dumb shit like that, right? They're obfuscating through language what's going on. Another great example of this is... Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. We're going to use you as an example again of how the media lies to you, but that without lying to you. So, when presenting this picture, what does Brian say? Does Brian say, this is a picture of Obrego Garcia? This is apparently a picture of Obrego Garcia's hand showing tattoos on his hand, and the administration has put labels above the tattoos to basically translate what they're supposed to mean, what they allegedly mean. If you were neutral, that's kind of how you would put this. What does Brian do? Blasted out a photo, blasted. So he's using emotional language to say, oh, this is not something that was done with thought. This was something that was done with potential malice. A photo of Obrego Garcia's hand tattoos with MS-13 photoshopped on top. Not labeled. Photoshopped. Blasted. Photoshopped. Okay. Keeps going. Pot leaf. M. Anybody know what pot leaf is in Spanish? What a pot leaf would possibly be called? Oh, it's they have a word for it. It's called marijuana. Pot leaf. Marijuana. Yeah. Smiley face. We did this last time. Smile in Spanish is sonrisa. 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 Sonrire for to smile. And so, I mean, we definitely have the S and the S, but why would you do this? Why would you do this instead of just being like in Latin America where they speak Spanish? Smile starts with an S. And then the other two are basically just, it's just whatever. You could kind of see the cross for the one. I don't know why the 3 is the skull. I think it's either it has 3 holes or it like the side of the skull like forms a 3 or some dumb shit like that. I don't know. But the point is that if you weren't obfuscating the truth, you would have said something along the lines of Trump just released a photo taken in his office and with such and such hand tattoos with MS-13 labeled on top for clarification. You could still use the word decoding even in parentheses, and it's a little bit emotional, but it's still like, here's the decoding. And you could just be like, this is what they're saying this means. So is it a little adversarial? Sure, but you could still be that and still claim that you're, not being slightly objective. But this right here is just like, that I can't think of anything other than that being blatant to mislead. The vast majority of people know that marijuana, it starts with an M, right? And the vast majority of people know that pot leaf starts with an M. However, if you don't state it in front of them and all they're doing is just doom scrolling and they read this, you might trick a lot of people. You might actually do that. And that's what it feels like this is for. And this is how the media lies through obfuscation. And that is a great example.